it's like, your setup is like so professional. In like you're saying before, like, you've got your rolling camera and things like that. And I think it is, I think everybody's now looking for, they want to really represent
But it's
the
service
quality of their
differentiation,
expertise.
because that's the
Yeah,
classic thing. If you really know your stuff, or even if you don't, but you've got a really good setup, people are more likely to believe you because it looks professional than if I was, even still me a year ago in my spare bedroom. It's not quite the same. That's why I spend so much money on it. But the dream for me, I told someone earlier today, is that with the Roadmap MBA, I want to create the peloton of business education, that kind of 24-hour, different languages, interaction in terms of business strategy. But people can actually ask, how do I do this? How do I do this? And, so I would love like a proper TV studio, like that's my goal. That's what I'm aiming for. And it's almost where I still remember the time when I walk into town with my wife every Saturday and we just brainstorm and stuff. And I was saying, what, I'd love to get an office just to kind of do what I've done here. And that wasn't that long ago. But as soon as you get it, you're like, okay, now I want a bigger office with more cameras and more space.
yeah. It's really funny actually, because when we went into lockdown, I had an office like a green screen and
Mhm.
everything. It was all set up. And my lease came to an end in September, and by which point in time I'd emptied out. This is like a spare room in our house. It's ground floor, so it's a bit weird spare room, perfect office. Um, and I kind of got quite settled here, and I still was a bit nervous about going in the office. So actually, what's really interesting is this is my office where I spend 90% of my time. I moved from my big office with my green screen to I have like a tiny room now, but it's all done out as like a studio.
Mhm.
So it's got soundproofing in that, and it's just
You've
about
got a
to
nice
get
hair
all
light as well, which I've
the vibe.
commented on.
I have, yeah, which is, as I haven't gone on today because I'm in my home space rather than my full office and like studio thing. But yeah, so if you ever sort of check that out, it's like literally you look at it and you go, oh my god, because it is just like lights and like a mic and like all this sort of stuff, which seems like a bit OTT on the one hand, but this stuff's so accessible now.
Yep.
And for the sake of like spend a couple of quid on a few bits of equipment that's going to make your quality better, why wouldn't you do it? Really?
I agree. I won't even tell you how much this microphone was. And it makes zero difference for streaming at all. But I wanted it. Joe Rogan's got it. I wanted one. But that's the other thing as well. Like you get diminishing returns in terms of production quality. So to go from 50 quid to 200 quid, you'll have a massive jump in quality. But when you go from 200 to 2000, nah, if you go above that, nobody's going to notice. You'll notice,
Yeah.
nobody else does.